Hey, my imperfect warriors, welcome back. Today I want to talk about Alzheimer's and the Alzheimer's variant of the APOE4 gene and how I'm handling it. So a few months ago, I decided to finally take the risk and do the 23andMe health test to see if I do have the APOE4 gene. It's the gene that's most referred to as being a risk factor for Alzheimer's. And before I get into that, let me give you a little backstory on why I decided to go and do this test. My maternal grandmother was diagnosed with dementia in her 70s or 80s. I can't quite remember. I just knew it was kind of normal. That's when people get it. My mother was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's in her late 40s and died at 56. It has been indicated that dementia and Alzheimer's can be hereditary. So I used to worry about being like my mother and getting Alzheimer's young. I was paranoid about leaving Eddie and our kids before I was 60. I didn't want young children to see their mother with Alzheimer's. It's not easy to deal with. When kids became no longer in our future, some of the anxiety that I had lightened up, and I didn't think about it as often. Then I found the Genius Foods book by Max Lugavere. His story resonated with me, and the changes he made in his life gave me new information on how to improve my life in the pursuit of delaying or even preventing Alzheimer's. I completely lost the fear I had of knowing if I had the gene. And so I started learning more and more just to get even more comfortable. And I still have a lot to learn, but I'm at a point where I'm comfortable that I can move forward and know. So with that newfound comfort, I decided having the knowledge of whether or not I do have the APO4 gene at all was okay. I could do it. And Black Friday sales helped a ton because that test for 23andMe is not cheap. I will say this is not sponsored, but this is how I did it because I didn't know if going to a doctor and asking for the genetic test would even be done, if a doctor would take me seriously, or if it's a cost that was affordable. So I just did that on Black Friday. I spit in the tube and I sent it in. It was really simple, just like the Ancestry tube. So quick, easy, and done. I started actually getting excited a couple weeks in when after they said they received my tube and they were processing it. I got excited. I wanted to know everything that they could tell me. And it was gonna give me direction on my thoughts. It was gonna change nothing and everything all at once. I received the results right before Christmas, actually. And I have one variant of the APOE4 gene. I was okay. I wasn't worried. I didn't stress about it. And only having one variant barely increases my chances of developing Alzheimer's. And I'm comfortable with that knowledge. Shortly after I did receive my test results, I found a podcast by Max Lugavere that gave me even more information that I wanted and needed. On the Genius Life podcast, it was episode 80. Max interviewed Dr. Richard Isaacson from Weill Cornell Medicine, and I know I said that wrong, so correct me, and New York Presbyterian. So he's a doctor who researches Alzheimer's, and that's his focus. According to him and according to the research he's done and other research that was presented in the podcast, 1 in 4 people actually carry the APOE4 gene. It makes a lot of people squeamish and For once, I'm not one of those. It doesn't scare me anymore. In a new paper that Dr. Isaacson participated in for the Journal of Prevention of Alzheimer's Disease, Dr. Isaacson and a couple others discussed using the APOE4 gene to help personalize or guide risk reduction care for Alzheimer's. There's stuff you can do to reduce your risk or potentially prevent it. That's not fully said yet, but I have hope. The thing that Dr. Isaacson talked about that actually resonated with me and gave me the most hope is that smoking and physical activity are two big risk factors. Smoking seems to press fast forward towards Alzheimer's disease. My mom was a lifetime smoker. Also, those who are sedentary and don't get much physical activity show having higher amyloid levels. I tried really hard to be really active, so that's makes me excited. But I don't want to get any of the medical facts or get into any of the medical facts because I won't regurgitate them well, and I'm not a doctor and I don't want to give any kind of advice, medical advice. But these are two things that I'm excited about. My mother and her mother smoked for many years. My mother wasn't very active. She didn't take care of herself. And I know these are just two factors, but they're factors I can control and can change my trajectory for the risk. Having the variant of the APOE4 gene shows me that I am at higher risk than most people, but that's okay because we are in an age of information and I can use that information to change how I live my life. I've already made changes. I get up and move. I try not to be sedentary for hardly any time. I don't smoke. I did a little in high school, but not very much and haven't in years. Finding out that I have a variant of the APOE4 gene is not a death sentence for me. It really isn't a death sentence for anybody. It is merely knowledge that we can use to change our current habits for the better. It is knowledge that can help us take better care of ourselves. If you're interested in the information that I shared here and or the podcast, I've posted links in the description. Remember, I am not a medical professional. The information I shared is just based on information I have found. If you have information regarding Alzheimer's and the APOE variant that you would like to share, feel free to post it in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. Remember, my imperfect warriors, you already have what it takes. Believe in yourself and crush every failure on your way to your dreams. Let's be imperfect together. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell to get notifications for the next video.